Smile, John, smile. All right.
Good evening. It's Friday, June 20th, 2025, and we're in Studio 7C today. It's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How you doing?
Very good.
You look awful swaggerly in this beautiful outfit you got.
What a beautiful outfit.
You got a Hawaii shirt under that thing. Looks like you just got off the plane from Hawaii.
Yeah.
It looks like you just came off the set of Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
You look chipper. It makes you look 10 or 12 years younger.
Oh,
Mr.
40
John J. Jeckovich. Yeah, you're looking well today. How was your dinner?
Good.
I heard we sent in some people. You exercised today, and
Yeah, I exercise. Them and us doing exercise.
this is the king of exercises. This man here jogged for 80 years, right?
Yeah.
And how does these exercises feel compared to jogging for 80 years? What exactly do you do? I haven't watched.
Roll my knees.
Okay. You do like any of this stuff?
Yeah.
Show us how you do it. I don't even know.
No, exercise here?
Yeah, show us how you.
Here goes.
That's certainly not you.
Huh?
That's certainly not you. That is certainly not you. You jogged for 80 years. You're in World War II frontline infantry. You were beat up, shot during World War II, shot in the shoulder by a sniper,
Lost a hip.
lost a hip, stabbed close range, trench foot frostbite.
I got the frostbite yet.
Frostbite, 80 years later, that son of a bitch keeps haunting Mr. Jeckovich day in and day out. Wow. That was the coldest winter in the Ardennes forest, 20, 30 below, and you never made it to a house in 2 years,
I
did
never
you?
stayed in a house.
Where'd you stay for 2 years?
The barns.
Or outside?
Yeah.
Coldest winter record. Many young boys, teenagers fighting in World War II lost a nose, a hand, everything attached to that frostbite. But Mr. Jeckovich still suffers from his foot hurting from 80 years ago, right? Wow. And plus you still have shrapnel in your body.
Yeah.
Going through all that, 20-mile hikes, jogging for 80 years, and all that physical activity you went through. It looks kind of funny now you're doing these light exercises.
Yeah.
Do you think it's doing you any good?
No.
Just making someone rich, right?
Yeah, she's sitting there on TV.
Someone rich coming in there charging $600 an hour. Show us how you move your hands again. That was pretty good. Show us how you move those arms again when you're exercising today. Show us how you exercise.
They do?
Yeah, how you do it today.
I do.
That is not you at all. That is fucking not you at all. All this shit you've been through, a man's man, and all the fights you've been in. Nah, but yeah, give them the $6.50 an hour and shut them up.
And they'll come and get you out of the room. They'll pull you out. You gotta go exercise. You gotta go exercise.
You've been exercising since you were born.
Yeah.
When you went to high school, you went to 2 high schools simultaneously. You walked from 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York, to your first school, which was Niagara Falls High School. How far was that?
Yeah, 4 miles.
And then half a day, you went to Trot Vocational High School.
It was 3 miles.
3 miles. And from there was the grand finale. You had to walk from Trot Vocational to Fall Street where you were.
Kresge.
How far was that?
Yeah, that's 10 miles.
So that was a hell of a lot walking during the daytime. I couldn't see these young kids today doing that in high school, could you?
No.
And I pray to God Mommy doesn't buy these high school students a new car at 16 because you know what? You'll destroy these kids. You make wimps out of them. Kids have to be tough, especially boys. Especially boys, because there's been wars for 1,000 years, and there's going to be wars for 1,000 more. So you got to make the boys tough. You got to make them fighters, without a doubt. You can't make them wimps. You can't let them sit on the couch and drink milk and Oreo cookies. You got to keep them going. Did your mother allow you to sit on a couch and eat milk and cookies?
No.
Hell no. And that's why you're here, because You were tough. Your mother didn't make a wimp out of you, right?
No. She was tough too.
She was tough. She came up from a hard situation from Poland, right?
Yeah.
So did your father. Your father came to this country as a legal immigrant from Russia, properly.
He's only 2% in Russia, and the rest of the Balkans.
What's that?
Did you read that?
I've seen the paperwork, but I've seen that paperwork, but I'm just, for argument's sake, we'll say your father came from Russia.
Yeah.
And he came as a young man, came properly through Ellis Island. He came here to work, to better life for his family, and to give back to the United States. The Polish and Italian and Russian immigrants built New York State from brick to brick to brick, block to block to block, wood to wood to wood. They built New York State because they wanted to contribute and give back and have a better life for their family. They're very hardworking people. They were never offered anything, nor were they accepted if they were. Contrary to how we have these immigrants today, which are illegal, what do you think the difference is?
They want everything.
Yeah.
And then they complain.
Yeah. Your father came here to work. The better his family, the better the country. These immigrants came today to work the system, have their hand out, and still bitch.
Yeah.
Have their hand out and still bitch. What a disgusting group of people. And you might not find that out until you be a victim of it, but we'll leave it at that for now. Wow. Unbelievable. So Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, and now we're here at 2025, and he's knocking on the door of 100. Hear those doors knocking?
Yeah, he's walking. Yeah.
You're knocking on the door of 100. You're in amazing shape. You read 3 newspapers in the morning, the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and I believe a local paper, with no glasses. How the hell do you do that? No glasses. And
Well, I was reading that stuff yesterday, and you said you could see it.
yeah, you were watching a newsreel yesterday about military marches in Scotland, and the marchers were going past all these small mom and pop shops, and no one in the room even knew there was signs of the names of businesses on the shops that the soldiers were marching back, and Mr. Jeckovich was reading the names of the business off of them. How? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Our eyes as sharp as an eagle. This is unbelievable. So you're looking pretty well today.
Yeah.
You had a good day, yeah. Mr. Jeckovich
21.
Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, and tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift, right?
Yeah.
Today is a gift. Hey, listen, boys and girls. It's a very short dance around the sun. It's a very short dance around the sun. It goes by quickly, right?
Right.
Mr. Jeckovich told me a few months ago, he blinked his eyes at the age of 20, and now he's 100.
Yeah.
Where the hell did 80 years go?
Yeah, where'd they go? Where'd they go?
You blinked your eyes. So I'm telling you, young listeners, enjoy every day. You might not think so, but you will later. You will later. That it goes by quick.
Yeah, yeah.
And if someone could tell me where the 80 years left, I'd like for them to text me, but no one will have the right answer. No, there is no right answer. It just goes by so quickly. It's a short dance around the sun. And interesting enough, if you're age of 40 now, you have less than a 5% chance. You have a less than 5% chance of ever make it to the age of 100? 5%.
5%.
If they're at 40 now, they have 5% chance to make it to 100. I don't know anyone 100 except you, and you're in fine shape. I mean, I think if anyone knows anyone 100 that's in this kind of shape, I want to hear it. We nicknamed this guy the super soldier. He just keeps going and going and going. We made a joke the other time in the studio. We said, if an atom bomb ever hit the United States, there'd be only 3 things left. You'd be only 3 survivors. If an atom bomb hit this country, there'd be a cockroach. Cockroaches always survive. They've been around for a zillion years. There'd be Cher, you know the singer Cher?
Yeah.
She survives, and John Jeckovich.
Yeah.
So at the studio, we laughed the other day, but atom bomb ever hit this country, 3 survivors only. Cockroach, Cher, and John Jeckovich. That's it. You are tough. You are tough. Well, as always, we have a lot of homework to do. We have text upon text upon text. But we're just getting into the 7th chapter, the 7th time around. Do you want me to put a couple pages under our belt?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jeckovich, you're reading his book titled Their Mother's Sons. How many pages is that?
849.
Wow. Let me try to figure this out. 849 pages. And I know you didn't use Google.
No.
I know you didn't use AI.
No.
I know you didn't use a computer. How'd you do this?
Yellow paper. Yellow
legal pen.
Yeah.
Word by word by word.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful book. There's one original copy in the World War II Museum in New Orleans. It takes Mr. Jeckovich's life basically from 11 to when his mother passed away when she was 89. Mr. Jeckovich's father worked 3 jobs as a slave, died in his early 40s, 39, 40, making cement, his 3rd job that day, died of a massive heart attack. Then Mr. Jeckovich took over the head of household at 11 or 12, and he's been taking care of his mother ever since then. Ever since then. But the book is a very interesting book. Where can we buy it?
You can't sell.
How much is it?
Not for sale.
It's not for sale. It has nothing to do with money. Mr. Jeckovich is very well off that way. The book is like a roadmap for younger generations to have a simpler and more wholesome life, more of a family type of life compared to the hectic lifestyle everyone is now. It's an absolute shame that young couples are working 2, 3 jobs each just to pay bills. It shouldn't be like that. This book is a roadmap to give them ideas for a simpler and wholesome life, you know. You come to this world with nothing, and you're going to leave with nothing. So don't be chasing a lot of things that's going to destroy your life or destroy your marriage. And you can text Mr. Jeckovich any questions pertaining to his book, any questions you might have in your life, business or social or otherwise. Mr. Jeckovich's mind is like a library. He's done it all. He's had a lot of different businesses. He worked for Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. World War II, highly awarded, decorated soldier. And so that's what the book is about. It's about teaching and showing younger people a better life. For example, if you want to ask Mr. Jeckovich a question on marriage, let's go to here. How long have you been married for?
69 years.
I guess he's an expert. I don't know anyone that's been married for 69 years. I just honestly don't. And today we had, in Florida last year, 90,000 divorces. How come?
Money.
Yeah. It's a struggle for young couples. I really feel bad. The other day we're talking about businesses the younger people could start, and we haven't came up with an answer. But we're going to keep on expanding our thoughts to give younger couples a business they could start with very little or no money, that they could quit the 9-to-5s grind, and they could make a nice business, a nice income, and still, you know, be doing it with the family. We're going to keep on throwing out different ideas there as they come out. And that's exactly what we'll do. Yeah. So I'm gonna, we already read, we got a 600 podcast from Mr. Jeckovich, and so if you want to listen to his book, you can simply go to Bulge Busters, John Jeckovich, and it starts in the beginning, page 1, and takes you to page 849. And actually, we're the second time around. We're on chapter 7 now, where it's overseas and beyond. This is after he ended his basic training, and now he's getting ready to ship overseas on a troop ship, right?
Yeah.
How was that troop ship?
It was a reconverted luxury ship. The GIs were 5 high on that boat,
How tight were they to the ceiling?
right up to the ceiling.
Uh-huh. How was the food?
Terrible, it was limey boat,
Oh, so it was
greasy.
the cooks were from England,
Yeah.
and it was a greasy. Did
Yeah.
everyone get sick?
Yeah, you had breakfast at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, shit. Did you get seasick?
No, I didn't get sick. I stayed outside. I stayed on the deck all the time.
Okay, that's smart. Did a lot of other soldiers get seasick?
Yeah.
So at that point, you were kind of relieved that you're not being sent to the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
Because before you got on that troop ship, no one tells you where you're going.
No.
Before you got on that troop ship, you thought they might send you to the Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
But once you got on that troop ship, you know you're going to Europe.
Yeah.
So that problem was solved. But then again, it popped up again after you guys won the war in the European theater, and the war in the Pacific was still raging on. You left there with your lives, some of you, and now you're worried about getting sent to the Pacific.
Yeah, they had the advance company over there already.
And you didn't want to go to the Pacific.
No.
No. Okay, let's see. Chapter 7, we're going to put a couple pages under our belt, and then we'll try to go to some text questions. Oh, by the way, there were 16,400,000 young men and women that participated in World War II, and now we're down to less than 5,000 World War II combat frontline veterans. We're down to less than 5,000 frontline combat veterans, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. So here's your time. Any listener want to speak to Mr. Jeckovich? If you want to text him a question, that's what he's here for. He enjoys helping others. Mr. Jeckovich has great empathy. Empathy is the glue to civilization. Empathy is the glue to humanity. So he likes helping. No strings attached. That book is not for sale. He doesn't want your money. He'll give you advice. Have a more wholesome and a better family life, hopefully. So text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. Anytime, text him, call him. It doesn't matter. He's got plenty. You're writing your second book now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't wait to get our hands on that. Okay, here we go. Now you're done with your furlough. They're lining you up to send you overseas. And it's all going to be all business now.
11 minutes.
You're saying bye to your girlfriend, Ann Mahaney. That's in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's behind you now. Here we go. It's really business now. I finally arrived back at camp. a little after 2:30, several hours earlier than the time prescribed on my furlough papers. The barracks looked unfamiliar and depressing, for there were many rolled up mattresses on the empty bunks, and not too many sleeping in the occupied ones. That means all these guys, when you got back from furlough, they're all on the front
They're all gone. They're all
They're
gone.
all in
Yeah.
the war now. They're all gone, yeah. I threw my overnight bag on my bunk after unrolling the mattress and started to undress to take a shower. As I looked around, I saw the rifle racks in the middle barracks and the floor were gone. So all the rifles are gone too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all business now. I thought that odd and only hoped that we would not ship out the next several days. After showering and brushing my teeth, I lay on the bunk thinking it would be better to try to stay awake rather than fall asleep for such a short period, as reveille would be in a few short hours. Instead, I fell asleep, only to be awakened in a short while by voices and trampling of feet on the wooden floor. Larson was smiling over me. Who was Larson?
Larson. He was my company.
Larson was smiling over me, telling me to get up. The furlough was over, and it was time to get back to soldiering. He quickly filled me in. We were due to ship out in several weeks, and the advance party had already left. Okay, here we go. Nobody still knew where we were going.
No.
We didn't know if we were going to Europe or the South Pacific. But the rumor was fairly convincing that we're heading for the European Theater of Operations.
Yeah.
And you were relieved, right?
Yeah, ETO.
You were fucking relieved. I felt relieved, there we go. I felt relieved at the prospect of going to the ETO, and then quickly asked where everyone was. He told me that many people had left, and they began to name a few. Sergeant Baker was transferred to Field Artillery Union. I was glad to hear that. You didn't get along with Sergeant Baker?
Sergeant Baker.
Baker?
Platoon sergeant.
Sergeant Baker was transferred to Field Artillery. Fink was my new leader, and incidentally, I had been promoted to first gunner, as Fink had been in the 3rd Squad. Lape had been transferred from the 2nd Platoon to my assistant gunner. Fortunately, Spotsta and Gaffney were transferred to a provisional company. What's a provisional company?
The company is forming.
How was Spotsta?
Spasta was a typical tally.
What do you mean?
Typical short little Dago.
Was he a wise guy?
Yeah,
Telling you a lot of jokes?
yeah.
How was Gaffney?
After was all right.
Yeah. Did you see Gaffney or Spotsta during the war?
No.
No. You see Lape?
Well, I hooked up with Lape, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Company A Provisional Company was the Army's avenue of the last resort for problem soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay. They would eventually wound up as replacements in any outfit, which was the worst way to go overseas. I was relieved that we got rid of these two, and I wished them good luck in their new assignments, that they would certainly need it where they were going. Larson stated that Goki had been admitted to the hospital. You remember Goki?
Yeah, he's hooked up with some woman and he had a kid with and everything else. He's all upset. He's had a mental case.
Okay. Goki was sent to the hospital for some unknown reasons, and no visitors were allowed. Mental. He would not go overseas with us, incidentally, as an afterthought. I found out much later that Goki was seeing a girl in Owensboro, who he eventually married while in the hospital.
Yeah, he's right next 2 doors from where I was with Anna.
No kidding.
Never knew her.
Holy shit. He later shipped out recovering and arrived overseas a few months later, but in a different outfit from ours. Also, Captain Goodnight, how was he?
Yeah, he was a good captain, yeah.
Captain Goodnight been transferred out and had most of the other officers. In his place,
They didn't go overseas. Goodnight was a college football player.
Okay. And then in his place was Captain Dreward. Who was he?
George was an old guy, old Army guy.
Was he good?
Well, they didn't take him, he was too old.
In his place was Captain Dreward, an ex-history teacher who was also much older than Goodnight. Our platoon leader was also gone. Instead, we had Lieutenant Johnson. How was he?
Yeah, first lieutenant, second lieutenant.
19-year-old, shaved tail, just out of OCS. Oddly, Sergeant Rupert was still with us. How was Sergeant Rupert?
Well, he's staying with us till we start shipping out, then they'll drop him.
Okay. And First Sergeant Whalen, how was First?
Whalen's an old timer, old Army man.
The two people, one whom we had thought would first transfer out.
4.5.
Some of the second squad and section leaders were also transferred out, but luckily we had Sergeant Flood. How was Sergeant Flood?
Flood was good, yeah.
Wow. I then noted there was no call for reveille or retreat. As a matter of fact, all training had ceased as of 2 weeks ago. Why did training cease?
You're ready to go overseas.
This was to end our regular Army garrison life. No more parades, inspections, training exercises, or strict regimen and central control of all our activities. We are now entering a phase where we would be subject to be controlled by other sources and conditions, namely a combat-oriented situation where there was little room for mistakes and one life depended on the person next to you, and you're adopting to its rigorous and harsh reality. Were taking place as the division prepared to leave. We were a million tasks to be taken care of. Consequently, the remaining non-coms would be going through the barracks looking for bodies to perform these sundry details.
Yeah.
Is that not good, right?
KPs, yeah.
Stayed away from that, right?
Yeah.
Everything was in a high state of confusion with just an informational meeting periodically to keep us informed. I asked Larson if we had any passes given out. Well, how much minutes we got here?
Just under 3.
You feel like answering any questions?
Go ahead,
I'll
yeah.
put the book on hold. I mean, these are some good questions and some off-the-wall questions, but probably the person that sent them to you, it's important to them. Mr. Jeckovich, do you like to meet new people?
Did I what?
Do you like to meet new people?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you have any scars from World War II?
Scars?
Yeah.
On my shoulder.
And then you got shrapnel on your body,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of questions we're trying to answer. Here's a question, you're almost 100. Someone says, Mr. Jeckovich, if you live to be 100 years old, will you want to do something extra special on your 100th birthday?
Do what? Extra what?
Special on your 100th birthday.
Like jump out of a plane or
Jump
something?
out of a parachute?
Oh, yeah.
You want to do that? Or
Yeah, yeah.
you want to do that?
Yeah, I would do that, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, you drove for over 80 years. What kind of driver are you?
But I'm a very good, cautious driver.
Your license is still current?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a lot of knowledge about, seems to be everything, Mr. Jeckovich. At this stage of your life, would you ever consider becoming a preacher?
A preacher? I thought about it, yeah.
That might be a good calling for you right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But for me now?
You want to be a preacher now?
No.
Mr. Jeckovich, do you have a hard time telling people no?
No, what?
Do you have a hard time telling people no?
Telling people no?
Yeah.
All depends what they're asking me.
When you were a boy, what was your favorite gum?
Favorite what?
Gum.
Gum? I didn't chew gum.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's amazing. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, where'd you go on your honeymoon?
Poconos.
You lived in the honeymoon capital of the world, and you went to Poconos.
Yeah.
That's in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Could you describe what the Poconos looked like?
Well, it's beautiful country, beautiful country.
Describe like your room and...
Well, we stayed in a regular house there, and we stayed alone, Delphine and I. There wasn't a cabin or nothing. It was a regular cabin.
Yes?
Sounds
And so